Good morning, students. In the last class, we have started our discussion, our learning about human brain, wherein we have discussed about the forebrain, that is cerebrum. Cerebrum is the largest part of the brain and it is the thinking part of the brain, where the areas for receiving sensory stimuli and areas of association of various sensory areas and areas of integration, wherein the information of present is put together with past stored information and decision is made, and which is sent to the motor areas of the cerebrum, from where the voluntary muscles are controlled. That was discussed in the last class. Okay. We know there are certain actions, certain feelings, like you are feeling hungry and you started eating, and after some time you felt your stomach is full. But how do you know that you are hungry? How do you know that your stomach is filled? How do you know that you are thirsty? And how do you know that your thirst is filled? All these things. Which part of the brain is controlling all these things? Okay, it is again cerebrum only, but in cerebrum there are certain regions like hypothalamus. Okay, cerebrum is present on a flat area called thalamus, below which whatever the area is called hypothalamus. Okay. So this hypothalamus, it controls the sensation of feelings like a full or empty of stomach, thirst, okay, sleep, sexual responses. All these things are controlled by hypothalamus. Next, above this hypothalamus there is a region called thalamus. Thalamus is the relay station. Relay station means what? It sends the stimuli to brain and it sends the responses from the brain. Means it will be transmitting the information from body parts to brain and from brain to body parts. Is it the only function of thalamus? No. Okay. We feel pain whenever we are getting injured or some other things, and we seek attention and we pay our attention, right? And we will be alert at certain things. So this pain sensation, okay, attention, alertness, memory, all these things are controlled by thalamus. Thalamus controls pain sensation, attention, alertness and memory. And if you look at our entire actions, there are totally 3 types of actions. So we have discussed the voluntary actions and reflex actions. No, along with voluntary and reflex actions. Reflex action, actually thought process is not involved, but will be coming to know immediately. Right? It is taking place. When you are taking hand back from a hard object, you will be coming to know that you are taking back your hand. Right? So you will be coming to know. And voluntary actions, when you are pulling a chair or drawing a table, whatever it may be, you are thinking about it and you are doing it. You are knowing about that action entirely. But there are certain other actions wherein your thought process is not applied. You will not be coming to know about those actions. Okay. So in between the simple reflex actions and thought out actions, there is another set of actions, okay, which are called involuntary actions. Like mouth watering, whenever you are looking at a delicious food item, unknowingly your mouth waters. Right? Heart beating, which is not under your control. Even if you want to say order it to stop, it will not stop. It will be doing its job. Right? Breathing. Okay, now I am speaking to you, but my breathing is continued. I am not stopping it, or I am not saying it. You take a pause, then you start like that. It will be going on. Digestion of the food. You eat the food, but inside the food will be digested. You don't give any instructions, you don't apply your thought on the digestion process, but it will be carried out. But All these are activities now where the muscle movements. Yes, all these in all these areas also muscular movements are there. Those muscular movements are involuntary movements. So all these involuntary movements are controlled by midbrain and hindbrain. All these involuntary actions are controlled by midbrain and hindbrain. If you look at the hindbrain, it has got two parts, cerebellum and medulla oblongata. Cerebellum and medulla oblongata. Cerebellum, it is the controlling center of precision and balance. Precision and balance. So, precision of voluntary actions, how exactly you are doing it. Okay, if your cerebellum is effectively functioning, then you will be very much precise. Maybe shooters and archers, they may be having a fine functioning cerebellum, or with the practice, the cerebellum is getting tuned to do the actions with preciseness. Okay, precision of voluntary actions and maintenance of body posture and balance of the body while you are walking, okay, in a straight line, right, without falling either the side, right, and picking up the objects without allowing them to fall, right, riding a bicycle. So in all these actions, balance is very much required. That balance of the body posture, okay, is maintained by cerebellum. So whenever the person is drunk, the cerebellum is losing its control. So only the person loses the balance, right? Next, medulla oblongata. Your blood pressure, vomiting, salivation, all these very, very important actions, heartbeat, all these actions are controlled by medulla oblongata. Blood pressure, heartbeat, vomiting, salivation, okay, all these involuntary actions are controlled by medulla oblongata. So we have discussed that the nervous system is of two types, central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. Central nervous system is made up of brain and spinal cord. How are these two tissues protected? How the brain is protected and how the spinal cord is protected? What is the need of giving protection to these tissues? Since they are the controlling and coordinating tissues of our body. If they are not protected, if they are damaged, the person is lost. So only they have to be protected. So the brain is present in which area? In our head. So the bony structure of our head is called skull. But within the skull, on the top, there is a box-like bony structure which we call cranium. That is the reason the nerves that arise from brain are called cranial nerves. Okay, cranial nerves and spinal nerves both together form peripheral nervous system. But spinal nerves means we know spinal cord. From spinal cord they are arising, so they are called spinal nerves. But we are not writing brainial nerves. Instead we are writing cranial nerves. Why? You may ask, sir, they are coming from brain, so they have to be called as brainial nerves, like how the nerves that are arising from spinal cord are called spinal nerves. From the brain, whatever the nerves that are arising, they must be called brainial nerves. But you are calling them as cranial nerves because the brain is covered by cranium, and from the cranium outside they are arising, so they are called cranial nerves. So whatever it may be, the brain is protected with a bony box called cranium. Is it the only structure that is offering protection, or is there anything else? Okay, inside that box, inside that bony box, inside that cranium, there is a fluid-filled balloon-like structure is present. Okay, this fluid absorbs the shocks. Okay, the fluid that is present in that balloon will absorb the shocks. Whenever you are hitting your head, your brain is not getting hurt. How? Because the jerk or the shock that is given by you or that you got, it is absorbed by the fluid present in that balloon. And what is this fluid called? This fluid is called cerebrospinal fluid. Okay, cerebrospinal fluid. Right. And it protects the brain from the external jerks and shocks. And spinal cord. Okay, it is protected by vertebral column. It is protected by vertebral column. In class 9, you have learned that vertebral column is present in vertebrates. Okay, and vertebral column is the replacement of what actually? Vertebral column is the replacement of notocolumn, right? Okay. Right. This vertebral column, you can feel it like a hard, bumpy structure exactly on your back, in the mid of your back. In the mid of your back, a hard, bumpy structure is present, okay, which we call vertebral column. Inside this vertebral column, the spinal cord is present. Okay, so vertebral column protects the spinal cord, right? In this way, both brain and spinal cord are protected. Try to draw the structure of human brain with the appropriate labeling. Okay, that is your homework. Please do it. Thank you.